of you grew up with the kids in this room. You started your first day of kindergarten with each other, and you're soon to be graduating together. And yes, I started kindergarten with many of the friends that I still have today, but transferring from a 5th grade graduating class of 6 to a 6th grade class of 120 was an adventure I wasn't sure I was ready for. Perseverance and hard work is what helped me get through the first few days of 6th grade. So I started at the Catholic school in Litchfield with about 28 kids in kindergarten, and we grew old together. Some came and some left, and by the time 5th grade came, we were down to 6 girls to be exact. 5th grade came and went by the snap of our fingers, and graduation day soon arrived. It was a sad day, but it was also a joyous day. Many tears were shed. Tears of sadness because we were leaving the school that taught us faith, friendship, and family, but tears of joy because we were moving on to something bigger and better. The summer months flew by, and school was finally arriving. It was a whole new way, a whole new adventure for me. I would have 7, 8 different teachers instead of just one teacher, and I would move classrooms every hour instead of staying in one classroom. I would have to remember so many new things, such as my locker number, combination, lunch number, and gym locker combination. So many thoughts were running through me, and it sent my emotions through a whirlwind. The weeks approaching 6th grade were probably the worst weeks of my life. I begged and pleaded to my parents to make me not go to school. I didn't want to go out of my comfort zone, and I didn't want to try new things. I didn't want to be one of the new kids. The day finally arrived, and it was a very rough morning. I didn't get any sleep the night before because I was up thinking about what the new day was going to hold. I had so many emotions running through me, and not a single one of them was positive. I was nervous, scared, frightened for what was to come. I was brought to school that morning against my will, and I went to my locker, avoiding as many people as possible. Of course, I couldn't get in my locker, and by the 3rd time, I had to flag a teacher down to come help me. The first challenge of the day was done, thank goodness, but the second one came shortly behind. I had to find my classes. Luckily, Caitlin Cruz was in my first hour class, so I went to her locker and we went there together. First hour was okay, second hour was the same, but 3rd hour was the class I was really, truly dreading. 3rd hour, I didn't know anyone in the class, and I didn't know what the class was going to entail. Of course, I was late because I couldn't get my locker open. When I opened the door to walk in the class, I froze immediately in my tracks. Everyone turned their head and stared right at me. I froze, and I couldn't move. Finally, when I came to reality, I buried my head in my books and ran straight to the back of the classroom. That was probably the worst hour of my life. I felt like everyone was talking about me and staring at me because I was someone that they weren't used to seeing every day. I kept saying it was going to be okay, but during that hour, I didn't think it was true. It was a good rest of the day. I kind of kept to myself and walked slowly through the hallways, but the next day was better. I started talking to many new people, and I worked hard to get to know my teachers, work on my lockers, and get to classes on time. By the 3rd day, I felt comfortable. I felt like it was going to be okay. I felt like I would have a good year, and I would succeed. I pushed through the hard times that the new school brought me, and although I was dreading it completely, it wasn't all that bad. I pushed myself to many limits that I didn't think I could achieve. I bettered myself as a person because I pushed myself and I achieved limits, and I went out of my comfort zone. I talked to new people, and I made new connections, and I made new friends like I didn't think I could. I grew, the way I grew those first few days of 6th grade really helped me through my high school years. If I wouldn't have gone out of my comfort zone those first few days of 6th grade, I wouldn't be the outgoing person that I am today. I would still be the shy girl that doesn't really show her emotions like I do. 6th grade was rough. It was an okay year, but the first few days really changed me. I was used to smaller groups, and I was used to not being the center of attention. But 6th grade really put me out there, and it really showed myself what I could do, like what I could achieve in life and how I could work to better myself as a person. And that was the time when I was at